All right, good morning and welcome to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television. I am Kemi Badenoch.
And I am Henry Igwebike.
All right, it's the start of a new day and we are glad to have you on the show. We will kick off with today's newspaper review before diving into the main conversation of the day. Trust me, you don't want to miss a moment with us. You can join the conversation by dropping your comments, liking and following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. Joining us to share the matters at hand is Barrister Evans Ufeli. He is a barrister and a public affairs analyst. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, Barrister.
Thank you. Good morning to you.
Yes, thank you so very much. So let's kickstart today with the first daily on our desk, the Guardian newspaper. It is. What's the big story there?
Okay, the big story here is government may earn 1 trillion naira yearly from capital gains as new tax causes stir.
And also we still have from the top strip, that is confusion as status quo order pits police against the Nigerian Bar Association. Okay, we have cooking gas scarcity pushes price to 3,000 naira per kg. And also this one now from Abia State, Tinubu's botched visit. Alex Oti, Carlo trade words ahead of Abia 2027. Okay, still on the top strip, we have Lagos residents lament flash flooding, urge government to enforce planning laws. Yeah, so yesterday, Sunday, was supposed to be Teachers' Day, World Teachers' Day. Tinubu NLC, British Council lament education challenges. Okay, we also have fresh violence, mass displacement, test government's grip on security. All right, so let's get to our talking point for today. Barrister, on the cooking gas scarcity, right now it's sold for 3,000 naira per kg, which is close to about 25,000+ for 12.5 kg of cooking gas. Don't you think this would make Nigerians return back to charcoal and cutting down trees, which of course is not clean energy, and defeating whatever achievement we've made so far with renewable energy?
Definitely to lead to alternative measures. Austerity measures lead to alternative measures, and that's exactly what we're seeing. It's unfortunate because that increment is about 50% increment. Because 6 kg before used to go for about 12,000 or thereabout, or 11,000 thereabout. So if it's now 22,000 to 21,000, that means about 50% increase. And this LPG, this gas, we have it in abundant quantity, okay? But the logistics around it and the inconsistencies, okay, that we've seen around it, and the quest for a capitalist profit margin, okay, which usually is also an issue, is creating problem for us here. The detail of that story need to be presented because we have abundance of gas. There's no scarcity of that resources in the Nigerian hemisphere. It's a natural resource that is convertible to for the purposes of usage in terms of kitchen food and all that usage. So if we don't have paucity of that gas from a natural source, why are we having paucity of that in the open market? That is to say that the issues stem from logistics to the general gas production and the surrounding consequences around it. So now that we have an issue there, there's a need for the government to nip that issue in the bud so that it does not increase inflation. Because if you had to spend more, okay, to purchase simple items that is supposed to be for home economics, then it strains the population, it strains the people, and it strains their resources. So there's a need for the government to do what it ought to do so that we can have smooth engagement in that process.
Okay. Okay. Speaking of the government, should the government reintroduce subsidies on cooking gas temporarily?
Well, subsidy have been taken off it. The argument government have with subsidy is that it really don't, it really is not fulfilling its purpose. That people are using it to make money. They keep that narrative all the time. The counter question you ask is why are they not able to fish out those who are using it, who are abusing the subsidy regime? Yes, they can't. They don't even want to go there. They are always of the view of taking it off. And when you take it off, the citizens now bear the brunt. Okay, if you ask me, I would say they should introduce subsidy on everything, on essentials, because that's how it is done in developed countries. Essentials like gas, essentials like fuel, okay? All those essentials, so there should be subsidy. In our own case, there's no subsidy. Rather, we haven't paid more, we're paying VAT on top many of these items that are supposed to be subsidized. We're paying VAT, we're paying tax on them. Okay, so and then it's a country that the citizens are not empowered. If it's a country that is that the citizens are empowered, like say the Netherlands or Norway or the rest of that, or Israel, or very good economies like Luxembourg, where the citizens are heavily empowered, then you can put all those, you can leave all those things, the citizen will still be able to afford it. But where the citizens are not empowered, and then you take off subsidy and you introduce tax, because subsidy is supposed to be government paying parts of what the citizens have to pay so that they can make it affordable. That's what subsidy is. It is the opposite of tax. Okay, then tax is the government levying funds on the citizens and at the same time not providing anything for them in terms of infrastructure and the subsidy. So you see that's a difficult regime to deal with. So I agree with you that government should reintroduce subsidy, not just on gas, but on all essential products.
Definitely.
All right, Barrister, let's get to this area of police and the Nigerian Bar Association. Confusion as status quo order pits police against the NBA. Of course, the last we learned from that particular case, court in Warri had asked the Nigerian police to state or to stand on the status quo. And but of course, the Nigerian police is refusing to do that. Speak to me on this. What's the latest? Why is it that the Nigerian police force is not heeding the call of the court, but especially the NBA at this point?
The Nigerian police is they will be charged for contempt as time goes on. The reason they don't want to yield to that order of the court is because it's going to prevent them from extortion, because they've been extorting people on the tinted glass. Most of the cars produced these days, they come tinted. You understand? Not even individuals don't even go tinting these cars. They come like that. Most SUVs. Okay? Now they ask you to go and get a permit. When you get to the website is not even going, it's not functioning. You can't pull through when you try to register the car, put all the details, and try to print the certificate and the rest of that to get approval and authority. The website is dysfunctional to start with. None of so somebody went to court and said that the police don't have such rights to impose that on citizens. The NBA went to court to do that, and it's not actually the NBA, it's actually an individual that went to court, but NBA supported the move. Okay, so now there's an order that the status quo should be maintained. What is the status quo? The status quo is that you allow people who have their cars tinted to continue to use it, pending the determination of the case in court, pending when the court looked at the surrounding issues and the issues raised by parties, issues of determinations and prayers before the court. You understand? Yeah. A reasonable police force that have reasonable leadership should be able to yield to that simple instruction, which is not difficult to obey. But like everything in Nigeria, the police force, they want to be strong-headed. They want to ensure that nothing stops them from extorting the citizens. And that is why they are disobeying court orders. But let me remind them that disobedience to court orders have consequences. It has consequences, and they must remember that the consequences of a contempt of court is committal to prison. It's committal to prison. And so they should be aware of that. They cannot be strong-headed against the citizens and at the same time be strong-headed against the judiciary, against the court of law, because the consequences are there. Okay?
Yeah.
What really are they investigating in people's cars when you have kidnappers all over the country? We have terrorists all over the country, terrorizing people, killing people. Those who are terrorizing and killing people and robbing people are not inside the tinted vehicles. They are driving all around the country with AK-47, killing, maiming, kidnapping, raping, destroying anything on sight. The police should redirect its focus to national security, where you are having all these issues, not to go around intimidating citizens, asking them for all kinds of permits that the police have no right under the law to ask for, and the rest of that. So I find this very, very disturbing. And I think the IG should call the police to order. He's the head of the police. He should call all the CPs in the 36 states and give them a marching order to forthwith maintain the status quo and inform every other police authority and hierarchy in every state in Nigeria to maintain the status quo. It's easy for them, very easy to do that. They send the signal and they make the right call to that effect. And this thing will need this controversy in the court, depending on the determination of the substantive suit in this case.
All right.
Okay. I was still coming to the police, obeying the court. So, should the judiciary sanction any institution that disobeys a valid court order?
It's a clear issue of law. I've already answered that. It's a clear issue of law that if you disobey the order of court, it's contempt of court. You will be brought to court to show cause why disciplinary action should not be taken against you. And if you cannot show cause, the next thing is committal to in prison. That is the consequence. Everybody knows that it is strike law, okay? So if the police IG does not stop the police force or the hierarchy, both the superiors and inferiors, from undertaking that act of contempt, then they will go in for it. They will be dealt with according to law. Nobody is above the law. And so, if the court have made an order, that order must be obeyed. It is the duty of the institution under reference to make sure that it manages its operatives within the confines of law.
Yeah.
An order of court is an order of court. There is no shortcut to it. It has to be obeyed, whether it's wrong or right. Even if you want to appeal, you have to first of all obey the order first before you appeal to a higher court. And so this must be respected.
All right.
All right, let's move on to the Daily Trust newspaper. And we have the big story here: alleged forgery. UNN, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, never issued me degree certificate. And that's coming from a minister.
Okay, we also have experts link 194, 876 teachers deficit to poor welfare.
And also we have a plot to remove reps minority leader, Etikins.
We also have committee proposes 13 new emirates in Bauchi.
And gunmen killed 2 wedding guests at the FCT yet again with Yesom Wike in charge. I do not know how this should be happening in the seat of government. But Barrister, I'd love us to take on the issue of forgery, alleged forgery. UNN never issued me a degree certificate. And the person under reference is Minister of Science and Technology, Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji. I do not know how we will tell this story. A story of an administration that is loosed on the issue of certificate and forgery. Remember the alleged forgery of the president himself, allegedly, at the beginning of his administration. That hasn't settled yet, and we have this man. How many more do you think we would have right within the administration? How can this be checked for good?
So many politicians are moving up and down without certificate. Many of them have no certificate. The ones you think that went to school didn't go to anywhere. Okay? And the reason they preoccupy the entire space is because those who are really school, who went to school, the degree technocrats, who went to school, they stay away from politics. So politics is now invaded by some, half-baked illiterates and people who carry fake certificates all over the place. So at the end of the day, what you have is a problem that is looming, because when you have citizens, when you have a leadership that is not grounded in integrity, you are going to find so many lapses. People with fake orientation, fake certificates, fake everything. Many of them buy certificates. They go to the school system, some of them just forge outrightly. Yeah, and the Constitution itself, the unfortunate thing about it is that the Constitution itself didn't say you must have so many degrees before you can even be a president of the country, or be appointed a minister, or be a lawmaker. Most the requirement that was laid down by the Constitution is SSC. The Constitution didn't even say you must pass the SSC. It said you must show evidence that you attempted it. You understand? So you don't even need any result. There won't be all these things. All you need to do is to gather documents to show that you attempted SSC. You attempted it. You don't have to pass it. You understand? But what we do, because of pride, many people go to forge certificate to prove nonsense that they went to school when they didn't go to school. In the case of the minister, I am not saying outrightly that he forged certificate, because it's an allegation yet. It has not, no court have found him guilty of it. I'm not saying he forged certificate, but I'm saying that there are a lot of persons, a lot of people around that have issues with certificate and certification. And so that issue itself is one that this country needs to deal with. I read not too long ago that they want to use AI or something like that to detect and or to use technology to find out those who are using people's results. Some people use fake results to join the police force, the army, and the rest of that. Some use the certificate of demise or dead people, okay, to get into force and the rest of that. And we have all the proliferation of that. It is fraud. It's lack of integrity, okay, to impersonate and then be acting like you are something when you are nothing. So it's unfortunate. The minister's own is one out of many. Okay, the president has the same scandal, and in the past we have seen a president that had the same scandal and all that. So proper investigation should be carried out, and let's see the end of this.
All right, we hope that we see the end, because the minister himself admitted that University of Nigeria Nsukka did not issue him a certificate. So that's where this is actually coming from. And if he had given that as an evidence, it means that it's obviously true that what he presented to the president to certify him as the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology. Imagine how big, how complex that ministry is. And
what exactly is he going to innovate with?
Exactly.
I was even
this is the unfortunate thing about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to even ask Barrister this question to show with this, to curb this issue. Do you think digital certification can be adopted, just to get rid of such issue in the near future? Do you think we should have...
Digital certification will be worse. Digital certification will be worse in the day of AI. People can just certify themselves. Okay, certify themselves, certify their children and their relatives, and push them into the labor market to go be ministers and commissioners. The world is really messed up, to be frank with you. People are claiming what they are not. Even the politicians that have certificate that come to tell you they will do this, they will do this, they will do that, they don't do it at the end of the day. They're not fraud. Is that not the same thing? When people make promises and they don't keep to their promises, is it not fraud? When people come out with manifestos, beautiful, flowering manifestos, okay, when you read them, you'll be happy. At the end of the day, they don't perform anything. It's the same fraud. It's the same fraud. One is that they do not have certificate they claim they have. The second one is they are putting forth to you what they can do, what they will do that we never do. So it's all fraud. It's all fraud and scam. So it's the reason we are not growing as a country. You can see that clearly. And we cannot grow until we address these issues. You don't have certificate, you say you have it. If you are not competent, you say you are competent. And they give the job to you, you are unable to perform. You are underperforming and the rest of that. You are putting more people into poverty rather than lift them out of poverty because of incompetence, not having technical know-how that you claim to have. I think we must change all this.
All right, well, we hope to change all of that. Let's go to the Punch newspaper and straight to our talking point for today. Terrorism. Retired generals back call for state of emergency. 3 riders to that particular story. Ex-military chief, state of emergency will speed up anti-insurgency efforts. Only large-scale troops deployment can defeat Boko Haram, and that's northern leaders. But of course, Borno dismisses call, says Irabo entitled to his opinion. Barrister, speak to me on this. It seemed to me like those who are supposed to make the call are not interested in making the call. Those who are supposed to benefit from the call that will be made are saying that people who are advising that the call should be made should be dismissed. So does that mean that we would keep having insurgency because no one is interested at this point?
There are people profiting from insurgency. A lot of people are profiting from it. Some persons don't want the war to end because they want the federal government to keep budgeting to fight this battle. Okay? Some persons is their occupation. Okay? That is what they are using how they are using to raise money by attacking and all the banditry and the rest of that. That's how they so. A lot of interest are on this thing. Some politicians are using it, okay, to divide the people, to threaten them, and all that. So many interests, economic interests, is tied around insurgency. So, but when you look at it, the general outcome of insurgency is insecurity, and insecurity weakens the country. It weakens the parameters of development. Okay, and as long as you have insecurity, direct foreign investment will be stunted. Okay, the economic growth will be stunted. Okay, freedom of movement. Okay, is stunted. Then the social lifestyle of the people, socio-economic lifestyle of the people and their fundamental rights, okay, are ruptured. Okay, you see what insecurity does. So it permeates every facet. Every facet of the economy is permeated, and so that is why. It is not a good thing to have in a country. So it is the responsibility of the government to take on insecurity and end it. And it's important, no matter what anybody says, okay? The security advisor, former security advisor, the former chieftain, okay, of defense, have said it. I'm giving us copious strategy as to how to go about it, but some persons are dismissing and dispelling it because they don't want it to end. And those who don't want it to end are the real enemies of the country. You know, the federal government had listed the sponsors of this Boko Haram and insurgency, listed them, put them in their website, claimed that they were going to prosecute them. You know, up until the point where we even went to court to ask the federal government to prosecute them, for the court to issue an order of mandamus against the federal government to prosecute them. The matter is in court, and they've not prosecuted them. So as far as the sponsors are still alive, they are still going about their businesses. They keep sponsoring them. I mean, they are putting down so much resources to buy explosives and rifles, assault rifles for them and the rest of that. So you're going to keep having. So I thought the federal government was serious about ending insurgency. I was wrong because when they refused to prosecute those sponsoring them, that's when I knew that government is not interested in having this thing stopped.
Okay, so will a state of emergency truly curb insurgency, or just militarize civilian areas further?
The areas where you're having serious insurgency in the country, the government did not declare state of emergency there. He went to declare state of emergency in River State. There's no insurgency in the south or south Nigeria. You understand? You see where government priority lies. The priority of government does not lie in where the problem is. It declares state of emergency in places where you have relative peace. You understand? And it wants the country to move forward that way. How would the country move forward that way? In areas like Zamfara, Borno, and the rest of that, where you have serious crisis ongoing, Katsina and the rest of that. The government did not declare state of emergency there. And in those places, Boko Haram have territories. Farmers cannot just go to their farms. And the stories there are underreported. Because the journalists, the newsmen do not want to be killed. So they cannot go into the can't go. Some non-state actors had to go to Benue to estimate the level of damage and evaluate the level of damage that the insurgency wrought there 2 months ago. You understand?
Yeah.
And it was from there that the press were able to pick the story from. There are so many attacks going on every day that's underreported. That's not even reported at all. Now you see that the American government have picked interest in the story, and the Canadian government have picked interest in the story, and it's been discussed now in Congress about how Christians are being persecuted and killed in northern Nigeria. Okay? It's a trending story now. I don't know whether you guys know about it.
Yes, we've seen it.
Yeah, it's a trending story now. And the West, they are discussing this in Parliament and profiling solution, looking for a way. I think in one of the countries, I think it's on the US. There's a bill now on it.
Yes, by Ted Cruz.
There's a bill, yes, in a foreign land. They are coming up with a bill, coming up with a law. Okay? Whereas our National Assembly here, they are busy discussing tax. How they will tax those who are alive, those who are left after everybody have been killed. Okay, so you just see that this country is not well managed. It's not going in the right direction. It's not going in the right direction at all. Something as serious as insecurity, as killings and the rest of that is ongoing, unabated. Then the National Assembly, they gather to discuss tax regime for 2027, 2026, and how that is the priority of the country now, you know. So this is it's laughable.
All right, I think we have to leave it at this particular point, and we'll be moving straight to our main conversation. And that is when we return. The UK Conservative leader pledges to remove illegal migrants with new removal force. That in a bit. Still Enterprise Morning. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
Thank you so very much for joining us. This is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. To our main conversation for today, the UK Conservative Party leader, Kemi Badenoch, has announced a sweeping immigration policy that targets the deportation of 150,000 illegal migrants each year. Unveiling what she called the Radical Borders Plan, Badenoch described it as the toughest reform in Britain's history, with the creation of a new removal force modeled after that of the United States of America.
Very true. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, in a video message on X, she stressed that all illegal entrants would be detained and deported, blaming both Conservative and Labour administrations for years of failure in tackling migration. Badenoch said the proposed reforms would overhaul Britain's border system by banning asylum claims from illegal entrants, repealing the Human Rights Act and withdrawing the UK from the European Convention on Human Rights, ECHR.
She equally pledged that deportations would happen within a week of arrival, while countries refusing to take back their citizens would face visa sanctions. According to her, the measures are designed to end record-breaking small boat crossings, close asylum hotels, and reduce the billions spent on housing migrants.
Good. Positioning herself as a strong voice on immigration, Badenoch argued that a party is the only one capable of restoring order to Britain's border. She condemned Labour of failing to deliver on promises to tackle smuggling gangs, accusing them of weakness that led to tens of thousands of illegal arrivals.
Only the Conservatives have a serious, credible plan, she insisted, vowing that her approach would have taxpayers' money to secure the country's border and restore public confidence. Let's get talking. We still have Barrister Van Sofeli with us. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for hanging on.
Very well.
All right, so let's get to the meaty part of this conversation here. Let's even start with Kemi herself. She was born in 1980. From Nigerian parents who left Nigeria to the UK simply because they wanted to take advantage of citizen by birth opportunity in the UK. Now she profited from that. Once she was given birth to, they returned back home. She now left again at the age of 16. And the big question is, as much as we agree that every country should monitor, you know, the kind of people that come into the country, do you think Kemi has that right to want to stop people coming into their country while she benefited from the same process?
Kemi's approach is vindictive. Kemi's approach is more of malice than it is of the national interests. Okay, she had renounced Nigeria on several occasions and expressed her hate for the country of her origin, and had exalted herself to be a Briton by privilege and by right, and so Nigeria is not suitable for the rest of that. And he has made a lot of, even though now he's talking about general immigration issues, but the hate in her stems from the fact that Nigerians are coming to the UK. The UK opened their doors to us because we're also paying so much money to come and school there. It's aiding the economy and it's boosting their fortune. So she's not happy about it. And let me just make it clear to us here. Let me just speak to her directly here that she will not make it as a prime minister. As long as she's placing a curse on the country of her origin, as long as she's full of hate, okay, she has shown no love whatsoever for her people. She has claimed to be white, and she can never become white. Okay, as long as she's full of hate and she's trying to copy the ICE America, that is going to the policy is going to be the most radical in the history of the UK and the rest of that. She's been praised by some white supremacists and all the rest of that. She will not make it as the prime minister. She won't make it. She will not. She went as far as saying that she's going to ensure that the UK is withdrawn from the European Convention on Human Rights, okay, which is a very strong organization. He talked about the fact that the issue of asylum will be cancelled and immigrants will be thrown out. They will be arrested, detained, and deported. I mean, we're not saying that the UK should not protect its territorial integrity and its border from the invasion of illegal immigrants. I mean, illegal immigration is wrong under the law. You understand? But when the undertone, it's not even about the legality or otherwise. It's just about the race. It's just about that you are black. It's just about that you are from Nigeria. So when the undertone becomes that, then the canvas side of it is the prayer that she will not also make it as a prime minister. She will not enforce it. Even when she makes it as a prime minister, she still have the House of Lords and the House of Commons to deal with. Okay? I mean, these are her proposition. These are her proposition. And she has sponsors. She has those who believe in what she's saying. as what should be done and the rest of that. And God help her. Good luck to her. She should go ahead. But you know, these things, when they are muted in malice, when they are filled with hate and hatred, it has a way of boomeranging. It has a way of calling for the head of whosoever is trying to instill hardship on people and the rest of that. So it's her right to do whatever she wants to do, but she should remember she's not white as she claimed to want to be. She's not white. She can never be white. She's black. She will remain black until she leaves this world, and she should go ahead. I mean, God help her.
Okay, how might this immigration plan affect the UK's relationship with other European countries?
Yeah, definitely. It's not only blacks or Nigerians that are coming into the UK legally.
Yeah.
There are other European countries and others who are also coming there. So definitely it will affect international relations. But she doesn't even care about international relations because she feels that UK is self-sufficient. She forgets that the money the United Kingdom raised from immigrants, those who are coming, I'm talking about legal immigrants now, is huge because the United Kingdom have a standard transportation system and they have a very good educational system that attracts people from all over the world. Okay, so if you have that, if you now have a drop of illegal immigrants, because most of these people she's referring to as illegal immigrants are like legal migrants who came into the UK to study. After they finish studying, they want to stay. You refuse to give them visa.
Yeah, right.
Some of them after studying, they want to extend their study. They want to. Yes, you refuse to. You deny them visa and you ask them they have no right to remain. They should leave the country in the next 2 weeks and the rest of that.
Yes.
Who does that? No, people are not really buoyant that way to just leave abruptly. So when they now turn illegal immigrant, what you're not saying is that you arrest them, you will detain them, and you will deport them. You forget that they were once legal migrants a few years down the line. True. That they paid fees, they paid tax, they worked and contributed their quota to the development of the country. And just because they are not out of status in 1 month, you want to arrest them, you want to deport them, you want to jail them, and not to do all that. It's not fair. It's not fair. You know, we have to give this a human face, no matter what anybody thinks about it. The fact that people migrate to your country does not mean they don't have a country of their own. Or if their country is so messed up and they choose and desire to be in other countries, it's not wrong for people to choose where they want to live. So you should make the system easier for them to adapt into the process and that will not in any way demean you or change your story or make you now poor or the rest of that. All you can do is assist them to have their stay. Therein they'll be working and be paying tax. They will increase. I mean, how is the population? The population is very low. So it's not something that you should now begin to work against people from getting into government.
All right, Barrister, let's take a look at what is now known as authoritarian populism. And that is, that actually made worse, if I would say so, from Donald Trump and his Trumpism set of leadership. We have leaders now who are anti-globalism. They are anti-everything. What other countries do, they don't want to be part of it. How do you think, and when do you think this might come to an end? Because it is growing very, very fast, as made better by Donald Trump himself. We have leaders who want to toe that same line, hoping that when they do that, that the larger chunk of their citizens will back them.
Yeah, and those leaders, it's still all about hate. And the underlying cause of this is racism. You know, racism. Racism has really it's really militating against the fabric of global global administration of the human condition.
Yeah.
Okay, racism, that of Trump and that of some other leaders and all that is just that people who found themselves in countries, different countries, some to seek asylum, genuinely to seek asylum, some were in the country for visit and decided to stay, some for just so many reasons. I mean, there's no way you are going to enter an aircraft and then land in a country and be cleared into the country without authorization.
Yeah.
Except you went to land and the rest of that, wherein you are smuggling yourself and all that. But if you are in the US, for example, and you are from Africa, you must have gotten all the required visa and authorization to come in. But when you get in and you change your mind, you want to stay, and they are not able to give you documents to do that, then you become an illegal. So most of the time, the people you call illegal immigrants are people who were once who came in as legal immigrants. That's how I've emphasized that before. Okay, and I do not think that stiff measures like this will be meted against them just because they decide to stay. I think the process should be made. For Trump, he does not even want to have that discussion. Okay, he's calling on ICE to send people away, deport them, arrest them, jail them. Now, if you are in the US and your visa expires, it's even an offense now. Once it's expired and you are arrested, you are going to be prosecuted. You will serve jail time. And after serving jail time, they will not deport you again. So you can see the distance. So I think the world leaders should be fair on themselves, be fair to humanity, and be considerate to for the purposes of entrenching global peace.
Okay. Let me ask this question, sir. Can the UK stop asylum requests from people who enter illegally without breaking international refugees laws?
Yeah, a country, apart from international refugee laws and apart from any international law, the country has its own municipal laws.
Yeah.
Yes, and because the country is a sovereign state, sovereignty dictates that you can make laws, okay, to determine who comes and goes into your country, whether you want to make asylum a thing or not. You understand?
Yes.
In many European countries, asylum seekers really get they get a lot of benefits in many European countries and some countries in North America like Canada. But in the US, it's not a very good thing to do. In UK, there was a time when if you seek asylum in the UK, they take you to prison. From prison, they take you to Rwanda to go and do the asylum. They had a treaty with Rwanda then. Before it was contested, someone went to court and it was contested. The policy was not cancelled. So you can see that every country can come up with a municipal policy on asylum and the rest of that, and refugee and the rest of that. But ultimately, the international standard is that any country that accepts it, that have laws in their own land that's friendly to these people, then the international law on asylum and refugee applies. Because this country also gets a lot of grants from the European Union for those of taking care of people who left their country genuinely under threat. For one reason or the other, their country, they are up against the government for one reason or the other. During the NSAS, many people fled the country, but they were changed by government. Okay, during the military rule in Nigeria, a lot of people fled the country, like Wole Soyinka, many of them, the owner of the Deportation magazine, Wole Soyinka, even Tinubu, the current president Tinubu, many people fled, you understand? It was asylum, they survived under asylum in the UK and other countries. Okay? So now that, at that time the world is even a little bit peaceful. Now that the world is really bad, is it the time for you to come and be introducing such kind of thing when you know that people can at any point be chased People have been chased by Boko Haram. There are people in IDPs. Some of them dislodge themselves from IDPs and take off from the country because they have been chased and they are about to be killed. Okay, so once their story is genuine, why would you take them to Rwanda? Why would you take them to face another similar distance? So these countries that do these things, they should. And many of the time, those leaders who enforce that are people who are immigrants themselves.
Yeah.
Trump, for example, his father migrated from Germany. Okay? So his father was an immigrant. His father was in America illegally for so many years, including the mother.
Yeah.
Kemi Badenoch that is doing this nonsense now. Okay? She's also the father and the mother were immigrants in the UK. They even had to return. Okay, at some point, before she went back. So what has given her this temerity now, this audacity, to be making this such high demand against other people when she's a byproduct of the same migration. So most times, those persons who are a byproduct of this situation are the ones who come with stiffer rules. I'm sure that nobody benefits from it any longer.
All right.
It's unfortunate.
Very so unfortunate, barrister. It's you know, the folktale story of a man who pulls up the ladder that he had used to climb because he doesn't want other people to benefit from it. But what goes around comes around in one way or another, most definitely. Thank you so very much, barrister, for being here. We truly do appreciate you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
All right, people, that's just about the time we have for today. I'd love to believe you enjoyed our show just like we did right here. Please do well to follow us. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igubike.
And I am Kemi Badenoch.
Thank you so much once more. Stay tuned for other interesting programs coming on Enterprise Television. Have yourself a splendid day and bye-bye.
See you next time.
Yeah.